Got a train going by, see if we can hear him blow. Alright, let me get set up for the video now. I just thought you might want to hear that. Going northbound, Georgetown, Kentucky. Okay, I came out on the deck for a few minutes to sort of show you this. This is the magnetic jig from, I got it from Micromark. I really like it, especially for in-scale stuff. You know, it helps you keep your walls straight and square and everything. I don't know if they still do this or not, because I haven't heard them talk about it lately, but DJ's Trains and Ron's Trains and things used to have like a link in the description of the videos, and you'd get 10% off if you had some code or something. Maybe that was just a limited time thing, because I haven't heard them talk about it for a year or two. But anyhow, once you buy something from Micromark, you'll get a catalog from them like once a month. It drives you nuts. So anyhow, it's really good for end scale. So what I want to talk about today is the joining the walls together. You can see chances coming up on the porch. It's a nice morning after the rain stopped. So if you buy a kit, this is a house kit from Walthers, and you can see that where the walls join together, they put this nice taper on it, and they fit together, you know, pretty well. You can do that, excuse me, but on this really thin styrene like this, it's kind of hard to do. But you know, basically, if you want to just, you know, take your styrene and your knife, and this is just a scrap piece, but you can just, you know, Boomer does it, shows how to do it. And you could put a little bit of a taper on it like that if you want to do that. I did not do that for this project here. And you can see I've got 3 of my walls up. So this is actually Main Street here. You're going to look at the layout, at the building on the layout like this. So you can look at this side and you'll see, you know, Main Street. This wall back here isn't going to be visible at all. I still put the windows and the doors in it. Maybe if I put the camera back, you know, here, just shoot on the tracks or something, I'd be able to see it. But I just hated to make it be a blank wall. But this wall back here probably is just pretty much going to be a blank wall unless I put a couple windows in it just for interest. It'll be facing the scrapyard. This is the wall that I talked about. This is going to be the glass front door. That I'm going to be working on. So none of this isn't glued in place now. These magnets are just holding it in place. What I wanted to talk about is this joint here. So I just butted them together. And because, remember, I'm going to sheath this with that brick material. Daggone. So this wall here, I'm actually going to overlap. I have the brick stick out 30 thousandths on each end, so it will cover this right here, this joint. If you remember, it's got a false front, so this wall and this wall back here and this wall are taller than the other 2 walls, and it has a flat roof on the building. So if I wasn't, the reason why I chose to do this way is because this is the way you're normally going to be looking at the building. So yeah, you can look at it from an angle like this, but I think that if I have the overlap on here and here, it will hide that joint a little bit better. And one other thing I'll talk about here, swivel this around, get it sitting on a fish food thing. You can probably see I've got some real thin styrene here that's to help me, give me a little bit more of a bonding surface when I glue it. I had to keep it real thin because of that window. So you can use thicker stuff where there's not a window, but that, you know, that window is pretty close to the wall. So anyhow, I'm going to keep on working today. I've got these 3 walls done. Those windows are just in there temporarily. They're not glued in. I'm going to finish this wall here. Again, I may put a couple of windows in the back just for interest, instead of having a plain wall. And then I can start on this one, which is where the door is at, which I told you about the next, oh, sorry about that. Next video is going to be. All right, so I will be traveling this week, so I don't know if I'll get it done on Wednesday or not. Here comes the Black Panther tux up onto the porch. But we'll be shooting some trains probably in Princeton, Indiana, if I don't get this up. And here's my buddy Ferdinand traveling around. And on the other side of me is Jessie. She's usually not too far from where I'm at. And now we can see Mouse. So we've seen all the animals except for Bunny, who is probably on the couch. She is not, hasn't been feeling very well. She's way overweight, so we're trying to get her to lose weight. But she just doesn't come outside a whole lot. As soon as I said Bunny's inside on the couch, here she came. I'm surprised. See if I can get her to do her trick on camera. Bunny. Bunny, come here. Your bunny trick. Your bunny trick. Nope, won't do it. She'll stand up on her hind legs for me. That's about as exciting as she gets. So this is going to have a flat roof on it. And so I wanted to have a support all the way around the walls that the roof would just sit down in. And the challenge when you're, scratch building stuff sometimes is to get all those things level. So I decided I would try a boomer trick today. I try to incorporate his tricks when I can. So basically I tacked down a piece of strip down this end, and then I pulled it straight, and I had marks on each end. I pulled it straight, and then I glued it down a little bit as I went. And of course I avoided the joints where the walls were, and then I just cut those out. So these should be pretty level, and when I put the walls all together, the only wall that's not here is the little short wall of the door, and I don't think I need to have a support on that. And if I do, I can just use one of these little cutouts to put it on there. So we'll see how it works. I've never done that before, but Boomer is full of great ideas, and so we'll wanted to try this one out. So let me show you a few other things I've gotten done. I have my freight station rebuilt, and it's back in place. It was a bigger job than I thought. So I'm gonna notice how it's the same height as the depot. So I'm gonna stop right here and insert a picture of how it was when I first built it. So this is when I first built it. You notice how much taller it was. I really was not happy about it. The biggest noticeable difference to me was the distance between the freight door and the eave of the building. It was just really noticeable. So I rebuilt it. Had trouble matching the paint, but I think I did a passable job. Picked up these two cabooses from Blueford Shops. I think that the B&O also had cabooses in the same order as the C&O caboose. So I'm going to, I've got a book coming about B&O cabooses. And if they do, if it's the same style, I'm going to re-letter it B&O and change the number on it. If not, I'll just live with it. C&O, it is a chassis caboose. The L&N caboose was sort of a impulse buy. L&N was in my backyard for a couple of years when I first started at Toyota. I mean, literally in my backyard. I saw a bunch of trains. And that's when cabooses were starting to be phased out, but they were still on most of the trains. And so I just sort of have a soft spot for the L&N. And they did a really nice job on it. You don't see much L&N stuff, so I decided I would go ahead and buy it. But I mean, the lettering, I don't know if you can see it on this L&N, like on the steps. I mean, that's just, they did a really nice job on these cabooses. So I'm glad I bought them. You may not see the L&N caboose run a whole lot on my layout, but every once in a while I might stick it in there. So this is the kit that I was showing you, all the walls on the sprue. It's from Walthers. It's the ranch house. I basically built it pretty much as came out of the box. I did dull coat everything, and I dry brushed the roof, and I like the windowsills, I sort of made them, you know, concrete color, and I painted the concrete. But besides that, it's pretty much out of the box. Oh, I got to put the chimney on it still. It's the nicest kit that I've ever built. Now, they're not cheap. They're not like some of these kits that are really, you know, inexpensive. But I mean, it just fit together perfectly. I mean, it was really nice. It's got the downspouts and everything. So, you know, I highly recommend this kit. It's really well built. Where it's going to go, I believe, is going to face, of course, once again, you're not going to see the front of it unless you come around like this. But it's going to face this street. I can't remember the name of this street, but I'll put a driveway in over here. There's going to be a fence between the post office right where that mail truck is, and I'll put a driveway in there, and I'll put a sidewalk up to the front porch and grass and all that. Then there'll be another house sits in here. So before we wrap this up, I just want to remind everybody, this was the original like mock-up I had, and everyone was concerned that it was going to be too small. So I'm going to show you now the size that the building's actually going to be, now that I have some walls sort of temporarily in place. So it's a lot bigger in person than you realize once you start going up with it. I've got these walls glued on with the Elmer's school glue, just temporarily, and it doesn't hold at all. I mean, it just, so, you know, I still have to make the, you know, put the sheeting on it. But I just wanted to show you, you know, the size it was going to be when I actually get it done. So if everybody enjoyed this, and hopefully next week I will have the little wall here. That will be the tutorial on the little wall. I just didn't have time to get it done this week. Everybody stay safe. But wait, there's more. First of all, I put my Cincinnati Red hat on. I'm not the definition of a front runner. I'm a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan, and if you're following baseball, you know I'm having a rough year. I may just take the year off. I just can't. I can't stomach what's going on right now. But on a happier note, so these are my Cedar Heights cars. I had custom decals made for these. Now, when you buy decals, you have to get like a whole sheet of paper, you know. So we think Cedar Heights had about 15 cars, not really sure. But he gave me numbers, like make cars, you know, 100 through like 112. And I've made 6 cars. And I don't really feel like I need to make a whole lot more for the size of my layout. But they went all over the place, especially industries that had steel. I can tell you some of the places that don't have it on top of my head, but they went all over the place. So I have a bunch of decals left. If anyone would like a set of decals to do a car, you know, I could, you know, you send me, let me know in the comments. Send me a self-addressed envelope, or send me $1 or something, and I will send you a set of decals where you can do your own Cedar Heights car. There's no point in me dying with these in my file cabinet, you know, 20 or 30 years down the road if someone else can enjoy them. Because I'm not going to build, you know, 30 more Cedar Heights cars. Sorry about that. The battery on my gimbal crapped out in the middle of my speech there. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and start running an Oak Hill again. I've never heard back from the guy again about the kilns, but I'm just going to go ahead and start building them. I'm not going to do a tutorial on it. I'm just going to, you know, build it. I am cutting out right in here because I think they back trucks up here to the end of this loading dock. So I'm going to touch that up with some brown paint, and I'll start building the kilns, you know, off layout anyhow. But I miss switching Cedar Heights clay and the scrap yard and the brick yard, and I just miss running to Oak Hill. So in the next video, next weekend, you're going to see me start running to Oak Hill again, the next series. So everybody stay safe. And one last thing, here are the mugs for our grand prize winner, Michelle, Matthias, and their baby, Friedrich Biner, I hope I'm saying that right, in Switzerland. So the cups made it to Switzerland undamaged. So congratulations again. I'm glad that they sent me the picture of them enjoying some donuts. And here's a short picture of the layout that Matthias is working on.